What's going on, everybody? Eric Lindquist at Stochastic here on the Odd Shopper channel, coming to you with a Thursday edition of, quick and easy edition of MLB and NBA Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. Hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell. Goes a long way for me on this video, goes a long way for you. That way you become a president for great content that's going live here at our little neck of the YouTube woods. Nice to get a first half cash out of Jaylen Brown over 4.5 assists. Probably the easiest play of the year. Probably should have locked that one. We got the two locks that haven't even started up here yet because they're in the evening window. And I'm going to head the heck up out of here to watch my Timberwolves and also get some PGA Championship prep. You best believe I'll have a couple of things in the premium Discord. Nothing crazy, because again, I like to tail a lot of people in Tails, which is right here. That's here at Odd Shopper. You go to oddshopper.com. You can go to Tails. A lot of the best cappers. I don't even like the word cappers, but sports handicappers, where you can definitely check out myself, a bazillion other people. My brain can't even process. DK DFS, one of the best NBA bettors, period. End of story. Adam's Digest, absolutely love his stuff. You go through the gamut here over at oddshopper.com and check out Tails. I bet you can find some bets. Plus, there's a free play tab where you can see everything every single day. I strongly suggest you guys go hang out there. But Lindy 5, that's right here behind me. That will get you the first week of the Lindy Discord. That's not just myself, but Eitan Shander, Greg Ehrenberg in the Futures Department, and myself covering every single thing. Pick'em, sportsbooks, everything you could possibly imagine. That's less than $1 a day to check it out for a week. So Lindy 5 would love to have you there. And the reason I'm talking so much here on the front end is because on the back end, we've only got 7 games total to break down. 6 in the MLB, 1 in the NBA. It's a gigantic one in the NBA. And one I do have a play from, and it's a straightforward spread. So we'll get there, of course. But Jaylen Brown cash, New York Yankees cash. Thank you, Aaron Judge, going yah in Seattle. It was about time. The very tail end of that series. Good stuff, good stuff. And then Cincinnati, just complete fuckery. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Producer Jacob, hi, hello. We got some leans to get to. Boop. Obviously, I can break down all of these leans here as we begin because we have all the time in all the land. Yeah, you're right. 1, 2, 3. Only 3 leans, and I'm actually going to yell at myself when we get to the 2 hits one. Anyway, Washington taking on Atlanta here. We got Washington plus 1.5, and I'm not a Trevor Williams guy. I'm really not a Trevor Williams guy, but look at his expected numbers next to AJ Smith-Shawver. Now, Smith-Shawver has the better stuff between the two. He throws a split finger curve that will definitely induce more swings and misses. In fact, those 2 pitches, 42.9% and 40% whiff percentages, 28.6% put away percentage on the split finger. But 5.12 expected ERA. That is a big number. He just has a couple of issues. He walks too many guys, 10.9%. Has the 362x WOBA that's over 40 points higher than that of Trevor Williams. And then Trevor Williams, as much as I want to bag on him, 5.88 ERA, 3.89 expected ERA. So you just kind of do the flippy-floppy thing. And it's minus 110 to snag a 1.5 here with Washington. If you made me take any of these plays on your board right now and just copy paste into tomorrow if you're looking for an MLB play, I think Washington plus 1.5 is a nice way to get it going. Here's why I haven't bet it yet. It opened at minus 110 universally across every single sports book. And that always freaks me out because it means they're waiting to gauge because they know Atlanta money's coming in. And I don't really agree with it. So I want you to know, leading into this, that I think Washington is definitely the preferred side, and it's high on the priority list amongst leans. Like, even if this were a 15-game slate, I would have that one targeted, highlighted, starred circles. I should start even like putting a star next to those because it means like I really have interest. That could be like a like lean, if you will, instead of the lean likes, or maybe the former lean likes, because obviously we don't do that as much anymore. But anywho, let's continue on to the White Sox and Cincinnati Reds. Now, why am I mad at myself about 2 hits here? Well, yesterday I talked about Heliot Ramos. He ended up leading off for the San Francisco Giants against a lefty there in Eduardo Rodriguez. And of course, in the 9th inning or 8th inning, he ends up getting a single and getting the second hit. It's just major plus money on some of these 2 hits props. It's just simply a market that I've never broken down all that much because I think there's high volatility and you kind of need other hitters within the lineup to carry the weight too. What I mean by that is you absolutely can't just have them be hitting well because it's more about them getting 5 plate appearances at the top of the lineup than it is about them getting 4 and trying to get 2 hits out of that. That extra plate appearance is so gigantic because think about it. Heliot Ramos, I had it like minus 310 to get a hit today. Now, that was an unbettable market. That was something you couldn't touch. but the 2+ hits had plus money attached to it. And now Gavin Lux 2+ hits will definitely have plus money attached to it. It's a small ballpark there going up against the White Sox. But again, this is a market I've never once in 5 years of doing these videos, or almost 5 years. God, we're getting up there. I'm old, but I'm making money, so I don't care. Bryce Wilson, 317 expected batting average against. And then you put in, copy, paste Gavin Lux. He's been leading off now against righties with TJ Friedel dinged up. 254 expected batting average isn't jumping off the page, but 8.4 degree launch angle. He's driving it. He gets walked a lot. That's obviously why they have him up at the top of the lineup. He's had a much better season than his expected numbers. So he's, near that 280 type mark rather than the expected numbers. So he's finding ways to get on base. Typical leadoff hitter stuff. I think the 2+ hits is very, very enticing, but the Ramos one I liked a little bit more. Very frustrated that I didn't pull the trigger on that. And rounding it out here, the Athletics and the Dodgers, and I have no idea who gets the ball here for the Dodgers because everybody is hurt. Everything is not awesome. Everything's not great for these starter pitchers who are just dinged up everywhere. Now, Yamamoto pitching here on Wednesday night, that game has not started. Obviously, we're on the under of the first 5 with the lock, so I need a little bit of something there, a little bit of good juju, and we'll see how the bullpens all kind of sort out, but obviously didn't have a plan. That one says Valdebito, and I expect the Dodgers prices to be absurd tomorrow, but use the historical data, and you look at Hoagland today. I do think Hoagland is very close to where Bito's numbers are going to be priced here for some of these Dodgers hitters, and I think Freddie Freeman inside of -115 is actually in play for over 1.5 total bases. We've played him a lot in the premium Discord, generally been around that +105, +110 territory, but the guy is on an absolute heater, and you never walk away from the table when you're on a heater. Now, I'm not a like a hot streaks guy. I was just talking about that with producer Jacob, but what I am is somebody who really likes to break down when they've had 8 doubles against right-handed pitchers and 7 home runs to go with that. That's 15 extra base hits. 15 extra base hits in less than 100 plate appearances so far this season. Yeah, Freddie Freeman breaks models when you do stuff like that. And not like the hot models, although his wife is rather attractive. Shout out the blondes. Anyway, Freeman, 1.5 total bases, a lean. Let's get ourselves to the likes. But first, premium Discord. Anyone? Bueller? Walker Bueller's not there. Lindy 5 is, though. Lindy 5 down at the link below, friends. $5 for your first week. Would absolutely love to see you there. It would make my heart happy. Well, not just because then I have more friends to be able to hang out with, but because I know I can give you great plays on a day in, day out basis. I know that I'm running everything by my friend Eitan Chander, by my friend Greg Ehrenberg. We're talking about plays all the live long day in the premium Discord. We're always covering every base. No pun intended. But I'm telling you, Lindy 5 is going to be where you can hang out. Producer Jacob did not like that. 6 MLB games, 1 NBA game. This is a great opportunity. If you're struggling to find anything on the card, jump on in there. The water's warm. It's less than $1 a day. And if you don't like it, you don't have to resubscribe, but you'll be out $5. It'll be all right. Lindy 5 would love to see you all there. Alrighty, y'all. Let's get to the actual pick, shall we? 1, 2, 3. We got ourselves an opportunity here with the Twinskies, my twins, going up against Baltimore. Had F both of them for playing a really quick turnaround where you didn't even really have props that opened up, even though we knew it was going to be Woods Richardson, because books did not know how to evaluate that little pipsqueak that was going to be thrown here for the Baltimore Orioles on the second half of the back-to-back. So that ended up being very, very frustrating because, of course, Trevor Larnach goes yard. Of course, Gunnar Henderson ends up going completely yah-yah and hits a home run. But yeah, Larnach hits a home run. Willie Castro hits a home run. Cody Clemens hits a home run. Brooks Lee hits a home run. Cedric Mullins hits a home run. I mean, it was just ridiculous. Everybody that I was talking about that I wanted to target against Povich and things of that nature, and Woods Richardson before the rain out, well, they came to fruition in a game that you couldn't even really get money down on. That sucked. I'm not sure if anybody else felt that way. You had a lot longer with St. Louis and Philly, and of course, Schwarber goes yard in the second game. We bet him in the premium Discord, just a quarter unit, so it's not going to break my heart entirely, but still frustrating because, you know, nearly plus 400 for Kyle Schwarber going up against Sonny Gray. That was frustrating because, well, not against Sonny Gray, it was the previous game. So it would have been not a good Sonny Gray. But anyway, it was only like plus 360, plus 370 I saw against Sonny Gray. That was frustrating. But we can actually rectify some of the ills of the past. And that is what we're going to do here in this spot because I think you know by now where I'm going to be going. We're going to target Sagano. I'm not a big Sagano guy. I wasn't when he got called over. A 35-year-old making his debut from Japan. A lot different than some of these mid-20s, early 30s guys. I mean, Sagano, 355 xWOBA, 503 expected slugging. And I said coming into the season before his first start, he didn't have strikeout stuff in Japan. That is a telltale sign that he was going to be giving up contact. Didn't love anything. Now, his off-speed run value has been pretty darn preventative. He only has a 14.2% K rate, but he throws the split finger. He throws the sweeper. I mean, you're required by law basically to have a splitter coming out of Japan now these days, and it has a 29% whiff percentage, but he can't really go to it in certain circumstances against righty bats. But we're actually looking at a lefty to be able to carry the weight here. Only has the 38% hard hit, but 116.3 max exit velocity, 13-degree launch angle, 36.1% launch angle sweet spot, and a guy in Trevor Larnach, who I've been waiting to utilize on this program. Obviously, I'm a diehard Twins fan. I'm not a huge fan of his, if I'm being completely honest, relative to some of the other lefties that we've had. Obviously Matt Wallner, he's dinged up here at the moment. Max Kepler has gone to Philly. Pets' heads are falling off. But Trevor Larnach, he is a first-round pick. He is a guy with a good hit tool. He's generally all right at batting up the ball. He doesn't strike out a ton, even though he did early on in his MLB career last season. His biggest sample size, 22.3%. Nothing problematic about that, 20.5% this season. But Sagano has a major lefty problem, giving up tons of power, and that is our responsibility to bet something here, find something here. I looked at the cross numbers, just took, what we had from Dean Kramer. I haven't played this yet because it hasn't been available, but it's going in the like section on a small slate. Trevor Larnach, 1.5 hits plus runs plus RBIs. Hopefully it's not inflated just because he had a home run in that second game of the back-to-back here on Wednesday. But on Thursday, this is finally the spot where I think him batting second against righties in front of Buxton, who's nice protection to have. And you're getting Royce Lewis, although he'll be further down in the lineup. Got Brooks Lee, who I really like the stuff we're seeing out of Brooks Lee this season. Hey, Twins are rocking. Let's keep rolling. 1.5 hits plus runs plus RBIs on the card. Trevor Larnach. Tampa Bay, Toronto, and yeah, I'm trying to embellish a little bit, give you a little bit more in-depth analysis at what I'm looking at rather than just the surface stuff that I have to do on 15 or like we had on Wednesday, 17-game MLB slates. But this one you should know by now if you've been in the betting streets and you're, somebody who knows kind of my content by now. Zach Littell, not my favorite. And Kevin Gausman, not really my favorite either because he's gone into regression mode. Now, he used to have the best splitter in all of baseball. Obviously, he didn't come over from Japan. He just simply was here and throwing the pitch. And there's only a couple of splitters that I value better in MLB than his. One, obviously Yamamoto. Two, Shohei Ohtani over the course of the last 3-year rolling averages. But Kevin Gausman, don't have any ifs, ands, or buts about it. He's throwing it like 33% of the time. He's a two-pitch pony. He's got a slider he throws right around 11% of the time. It's not a very good pitch, and the sinker is not existent. I don't even know if that's like correctly modeled as a sinker because it's just like a garbage thing that he threw like one pitch of it. But yeah, he's a 3-trick pony. The split finger is obviously the thing that has to be working. 32% whiff percentage on that pitch, 145 batting average against it. But we're actually going to target Littell. As I said, you probably knew I would probably look for some way to target him, and we're going to pure lefty power. Now, I watched some of the at-bats today. Didn't love what I saw. Didn't love what I was getting here from some of the Toronto pieces. Ended up on Vlad for a quarter unit. Ended up on, this absolute dunce cap. Vlad Guerrero Jr., who just can't loft the ball right now. Just another line drive single and then gets walked. And, obviously it's nice for him to walk. Good to get walks for his team. Not useful when you're betting his home run prop. So just letting that be known. But Dalton Varsho, friends. Dalton Varsho playing center field and at times, he's not DHing because they're still forced with that contract to find a way to get Santander figured out. And again, I bought low on Santander here. Got it to plus 420 before narrowing out around plus 370. Got some nice CLV there. Again, CLV, not the say-all, end-all of everything. And obviously, can somebody like me or something influence a number? Maybe slightly, but that's just arrogance and ridiculous to think about. If you flood the marketplace, you're probably going to see it move no matter what in a home run department where everybody's on and over. You're very, very rarely seeing guys on under parlays or under, at a spot like Novik. But Dalton Varsho, 57.1% hard hit. And the big thing, 95.6 average exit velocity with a 23-degree launch angle. That is a ridiculous kind of home run profile to be looking at against this Littell fellow who just can't figure it out. Can't figure it out against lefty bats. 4 home runs allowed in 21 innings so far this season. Has a 1.14 whip, but has such a long ball problem. Even against righties, 6 home runs allowed. But I'm just going to the left side here with Mr. Varsho. Think he gets it done for us here. Quarter unit play, anything better than plus 355. You will be betting for tomorrow. Alrighty, let's get to the NBA. Oh, no, I've got a money line. I've got a money line. What am I talking about? I've got a money line. Here's your money line. Hunter Brown of the Houston Astros. Really good pitching matchup facing Jacob deGrom. The Battle of Texas. And for those who are paying attention, obviously in that first slide, we had Athletics Dodgers. They're rounding out their series. But you get to Friday, not to be looking ahead, but you have the Mets and Yankees. That's the New York Fest. Then you get the Freeway, the 5 series, the Angels and Dodgers matching up. And then you have Houston and Texas starting their 4-game stand. It's an awesome in-state rivalry, like freeway rivalry in a lot of cases between multiple teams. But Jacob deGrom, friends, he looks great to me. And so does Hunter Brown, 32% K rate, 85 average of exit velocity off the bat. I mean, that is so low relative to every pitcher in baseball. It's kind of ridiculous. I mean, Jacob deGrom, for comparison, 87.6. But the one thing that Jacob deGrom, I trust him to do is shut down righty bats. He is so absolutely unbelievably insane at it. In fact, this season, 0.93 whip against righties, 1.11 whip against lefties. You go back to 2024, it was the tail end, so I'm not going to even look at that, but he was unbelievable in 2023, his last healthy season. 0.73 whip against righties, only 10 hits allowed, 0.78 against lefties. So a little bit higher, even though those are both insane numbers. I'm just pointing out that he is shut down beyond shutdown against righties. And wouldn't you know it, guess what every single bat, outside of Victor Caratini, who's a switch hitter, ends up in that lineup tomorrow is they're right-handed. I don't see how Jacob deGrom doesn't mow them down. Now, the first 5 market is a little bit aware of this. So you have to be able to embrace a little volatility when it comes to the bullpens. But I'm okay with it despite still feeling scorned from the San Diego Padres 2 nights ago, or I guess that'll be yesterday, 2 nights ago by the time you listen to this. Absolute disaster by them, shutting that down from a Michael King win and then giving up the Grandy and not only not covering the run line there, up 5-3 heading into the 9th with Suarez, the number 2 ranked pitcher on Fangraphs. But didn't go well. This is going to go better. Texas Rangers money line. I like the ability that they have here. Enough pieces on the Texas side that can get after Brown. Not enough that can get after deGrom. I see a really nice gem. Actually might be betting Jacob deGrom to get a win tomorrow too. I want to see where those opening numbers are. Harder market to predict. So Texas money line, let's get to NBA. But of course, if you want to get even more bets on a small slate like tomorrow and then tons of games on Friday, Lindy 1. That is the path, friends. This is the way. Portfolio EV, 2 weeks completely free to you using promo code Lindy1 down at the link below. If you don't know what Portfolio EV is, get familiar because you can make portfolios based on the sports books and the pick'em sites available in your state. And then you can utilize that information to make money analyzing the sharp sports books, analyzing exactly what they're doing, and factoring in historical ROI on how our tool performs against them. Look on your screen there. We have OS ratings, expected value, historical ROIs, EVH, so many great gauges to help you make money. And if you have questions about it, I have answers as I have dabbled far more into the market-based streets in the last year. Check out Portfolio EV down at the link below. All right, quick NBA tutorial. Let's fire it up. Guys, this is game 6. I don't know what I can possibly say that hasn't already been said, and yet every number, every single time surprises me. This is back against the wall, Nikola Jokic, and I had the unfortunate circumstance of taking the under of his 50.5 PRA, which was maybe the worst bet I've made all season long. Absolute shyster. But here's the thing. We ended up getting an awesome opportunity here. Denver got to 5. I think this is too wide of a number against Oklahoma City. Now, you're going into elevation on just 48 hours rest for both teams. Denver, obviously, they don't have the bench that OKC does. You're basically utilizing Peyton Watson a little bit and Russell Westbrook a lot of it. But outside of that, Julian Strother plays a couple of minutes here or there, so it's like 7.5 guys. OKC can run 9 deep. They can run Aaron Wiggins, Jalen Williams, Alex Caruso playing massive minutes here in the postseason so far, and Cason Wallace. Those are 4 pieces where they should have an advantage from a rest perspective, and yet the best player in the world resides with the Denver Nuggets in a must-win, gotta-have-it game with the back against the wall. I'll snag the points every single time, have this closer to 2.5. It's worth a play. It's worth a sprinkle. Nothing crazy, baby. Don't forget that boy told you kick that dirt off your shoulder. But only play that really stands out to me. Props look super efficient unless you have an idea of Michael Porter Jr. or Russell Westbrook. I think it's going to be very volatile. Watch the first half, have an idea, and then potentially see if Michael Porter Jr.'s shoulder's okay or if he's just missing everything like he did in that last game. What an absolute dunce camp performance. But Denver +5. Let's get out of here. And that does it for a quick and easy edition of MLB and NBA Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. Head to the comment section below. Let me know your favorite plays that exist on the board for this lovely slate we have before us. Hopefully I can get something out of Vlad or Varsho. Hey, I ended up on that crazy number 9 hole fellow from Oakland, Nick Kurtz. I mean, he just absolutely murders baseball. Plus 1,200 was a little wide, although just 0.1 units on that one. So obviously it wasn't on this video. Broke it down a little bit for you there on Lindy's Long Balls, a short here on the Odd Shopper channel. Check that out on a day-to-day basis, tracking the units here starting from May 1st. So good times, good times. Just been flat even basically the entire way. Hopefully we can start spiking some 2 home run days, and that could start Thursday if I do a short. I don't know. Haven't seen a lot of home run plays I love outside of the one. All right, let's get out of here. Thank you, producer Jacob. Till next time, friends. Hopefully my Wolves are in the Western Conference Finals by the time you hear this. I'm Eric Lindquist. Best of luck in the MLB and NBA streets on Thursday.